Hey guys, I just added a new kris into my collection. Want to know what's so special about today's video? Keep watching to learn more. Do I need to powder my nose or something? Good, do I look good? Hills and God. Okay, hi guys and welcome to today's video. I hope you are all in good health and positive spirit always. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Kari Johari, better known as Pak Jofe, the Kris Collector from Singapore, and you are watching The Kris Collector Show. If you want to find out more about me and what this channel is all about, check out this channel's intro video right here. Today I am sharing an item I recently received as a donation. I will share more details about this in another video, so do keep a lookout for that. In today's video, I will be sharing with you a walkthrough of my process on what I will normally do when I add a kris into my collection. Let's get into it right now. What I have here is a typical Javanese class kris with Gayaman solo fittings paired with a classic Yogyakarta Nunggak Semi styled hilt. The crosspiece and hilt, as you can see from the shine and sheen, suggests that a thick coating of lacquer or shellac has been applied to it. Now, personally, I am not a fan of such a thick application. I prefer a more natural look and feel. This is easily remedied with thinner oil and sandpaper to trim down the excess shellac layer. Now, let's have a look at the blade. This is a fairly interesting straight or Lurus blade with a minimalist Richikan detail. Likelihood this style falls under the Bilah Sempurna classification. Without a doubt, this is a blade with Pamur, a combination of Melumah and mirroring Pamur styles. Signs of poor or rather under maintenance, the blade is very dry with surface rust formation. The color of the rust is a good indication of the type of material used. A bright reddish red rust suggests iron oxide, which is a reaction when moisture reacts with iron. Now, brushing the surface of the blade with a toothbrush removes any loose rust that has formed on the blade surface. Clearly, rust spots have set onto the blade surface. Definitely will need intervention to prevent the rust from spreading out further onto the blade surface. Removing the hilt to see the condition of the tangkai. The threading material seems fairly recent. The mandak here has a heavy patina, that's the greenish residue on the surface. This is copper oxide, which forms when brass or copper reacts with moisture and oxygen. The condition of the tangkai, albeit some slight rust formation, is quite good, which further suggests that this blade is not as old as one might hope for. But I would personally gauge the age to be somewhere between 20 to 30 years old based on the overall feel and condition. Definitely a Kamadikan specimen example. Unlikely a production from the Kraton, but I would say it's been decently made. The blade is more on the thin side but springy in nature. Look at how it springs back even after applying some pressure to it. Now, let's get to work on removing the surface rust. The first stage is to scrub off the surface rust with an abrasive detergent applied using a toothbrush. From experience, liquid detergents are less effective. Powdered detergents have an exfoliating property that helps to loosen surface rust and particles. Brush, 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 rinse, 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 brush some more, rinse and repeat. Not bad, most of the surface rust has come off, left with some parts where the rust has set in. Not really a problem. The next stage is to soak in an acidic bath. You may use acetic acid or citric acid, but for me, I prefer to use phosphoric acid. By virtue of its chemical nature, it attacks the oxygen trapped within the object and reacts with the iron to form a natural coating to prevent oxygen from reacting further. Best part is it only reacts with iron and will ignore any other metals present. Since it is not too heavily rusted, leaving it to soak for 1 hour should be more than enough. It's been 1 hour now. Look at how the acid reacts and etching the iron and leaving the nickel intact. The next step is to rinse the blade and wash off any traces of acid on the blade. Observe how some parts are darker than usual. That's a sign where the acid reacted on parts where there were rust formation. Applying another round of brushing with abrasive detergent ensures not only any traces of acidic elements are neutralized, but also removes any rust left behind on the surface of the blade. The end result, a clean and rust-free blade. Now, before leaving it to air dry, I prefer to dab it with a paper towel to remove excess water. And since it's a nice hot weather right now, I'll leave the blade to air dry for an hour before proceeding with the next step. It's been 1 hour, the blade is dry. Personally, I prefer to blow dry the blade before applying my kris lubricant. This removes any traces of moisture and heat up the blade to a nice even temperature. When you apply the lubricant to a somewhat warmed up blade, when the metal expands, it absorbs more lubricant onto the surface and as it cools, contracts, it reduces the chances of trapped moisture and oxygen to react and form rust. Look at the blade. Now has a gorgeous darkened appearance, partly also due to the composition blend of my kris lubricant. It includes an ingredient that darkens iron. This is the original dress which I removed the excess lacquer whilst waiting for the blade to dry earlier on. I have always liked the feel of non-lacquered wood. Feels more natural in the hands. Oiling the tangkai further reduces the chances of rust formation. Now, I had one of these lying around for some time, and surprise, surprise, it fits nicely. Still the same nunggak semi-styled hilt. The mendak is silver with black diamonds. Pairs nicely, don't you think? Giving it a nice aesthetic and pleasing look. I like to use cotton twine to secure my hilt in place. This gives me the flexibility to reposition or replace the hilt with ease. And there we have it, today's kris showcase. I have shared with you how I perform a basic maintenance from removing of rust to replacement of parts to reassembly of the entire kris. The mendak here looks gorgeous, doesn't it? It's been sitting on my display for some time and finally it now has a purpose. A beautiful sempena Lurus blade with Pamur miring, ujung gunung and Pamur melumah biji timun. If you refer to my previous video, this kris might have been made for both luck and protection, increasing the charisma and charm of the owner. For me, personally, I am not really a fan of warangan. I am contented the blade to be as it is. In Javanese kris tradition, it is believed that the darker or blacker the blade from warangan increases the blade's ability to dispel negative energies. In Singapore, please note that the active ingredient in a warangan solution is a controlled substance and requires the necessary permits to keep it in your possession. That is all for today's video. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope this video adds value to you and may you learn something new and useful from watching this. I look forward to reading your feedback in the comment section, so please feel free to leave me your comments and I will personally reply to you. If you like what you have watched today, please share with me your support by clicking the like, subscribe, and bell notification icon. So, until we meet in my next video, this is Keris Johari, better known as Pak Jofe, the Kris Collector from Singapore, snapping out. See you in my next video. Bye bye.